you guys, on this week's episode of the Get Shit Done podcast. I'm talking all about back to school. I can't even believe it. Some of us are heading in that direction, so why not just bite the bullet and talk about it so we are ahead of the game and help our kids through that transition. So I'm going to give you several tips this week on how to ease back to school, get your shit together for back to school.
Hey, I'm Brianne McKenzie. I'm a mom of 4 little kids, teacher of students with special needs, and a health and productivity buff. And this is the Get Shit Done podcast, where I help busy moms learn to get shit done in their lives through everyday, tangible productivity tips and tricks that'll be sure to help you get shit done. Whether you're a busy working mom inside or outside the home, I'll share my how-tos and my step-by-step strategies you need to prioritize what's important in your life and create the energy you need to follow through. Now, grab your earbuds and join me for a mom chat while you're doing the dishes, folding the laundry, or exercising with your kids. And let's get shit done together.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Get Shit Done podcast. And today, I can't even believe I'm ready to talk about this, but I'm diving back into back to school. Just for you guys though, because I am totally not in that headspace yet. But I do know we have lots of listeners that are elsewhere in the world / North America. And I know that a lot of people head back to school in August, actually, where we do not head back to school till September. So I'm going to do it just for you guys. I'm going to put myself there, even though it's like the most dreaded time of year for me and my husband because we're both teachers. But I'm going to chat with you about getting your shit together for back to school. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips that are important, I find, around here for my 4 kids, as for myself and my husband, because we're also heading back. So I'm going to share those tips with you now. And I really think that this will be a great episode for me to save till later for myself. And I'll listen back in a couple of weeks when I have to get my head in the game. I'm going to dive straight into this because let's do this quick and dirty. We don't want to spend any more time than we have to on this. But I want to establish, number one, establish a back to school routine. So that could be bedtime, that could be morning, that can be what it looks like when you come home from school. Whatever that is, whatever's going to be a challenge for your family, start working on it early. Now, you hear all the gurus saying, like, set the alarm 10 minutes before you have to go to bed and, like, back it up each night so they're going to bed earlier and earlier. That's not going to work for us. My kids need to be really tired to be able to go to sleep. So I find this works best for us maybe a day or two before we're ready to go back to school, and we start putting them to bed a bit earlier. They don't really know how to tell time. So we kind of start things a little bit earlier. But we begin the back to school routine, the looking at the pictures that maybe we've created for our routines in the past, seeing what might need to fluctuate and change, and that can always come as we go. But doing those sorts of behaviors of things that we expect for them a few days before school starts, with the intention of, let's get ready, you guys, we're going to start doing these routines. They kind of want to play along. So establishing some of those routines before a few days before we're ready to go back to school has been super helpful. Now, I dive really deep into this with my friend Ashley Cooley back in episode 4. It's been one of my most popular episodes. So if you actually want to know how to do that, specifically creating a bedtime back to school routine, go listen to that episode. That's going to be super helpful this time of year. But taking those routines you did through the school year and reintroducing them to your family, reminding them, showing them the pictures that you may have created or written down the steps, or get their input on things that they want to include for that back to school routine. Just getting started on that a few days before is going to be one of your best bets, because that's going to help push you closer to school routine. And that's what we got to kind of do the first few days before we're ready to go back to school. Okay, tip number 2, get the school shit. This is my advice when it comes to that. When I was growing up, my mom used to shop all over the place for all the deals, and we would be like a whole summer thing. Or we would do layaway, like we'd go at one point and we'd lay it away, and then we would have it by the time school came. Those kinds of things. I ain't got time for shopping all around anymore. So what I do is I just put it all on Amazon. I Go through the list of just the things we need though, because as kids come home with things now and there's leftovers and some of their kit boxes just need to be cleaned. And we actually need less than we really truly think we do. So I go through all the stuff that they come home with, keep the good stuff, dump the other stuff. And then I just go on Amazon, I create a list of the things we need to get. And then I just quickly go on my phone and I have this app called Flip, and it allows you to kind of price match all the things around. And I'll look up, like, if you need loose leaf or something, I'll look up loose leaf and I'll kind of see where it's the cheapest. And if it's really within cents, which it likely is because they're all kind of price comparing, it's not worth the extra running around and time and energy you spend and gas money. Lord, the gas right now, right? To get those things. So in the end, it might cost you an extra $10, but it's going to save you so much time, money, and energy that you're just going to want to do the Amazon list. So you can do that ahead of time. You can pick away at it, but at the end of the day, that's going to be probably one of your cheapest bets, unless you are also like me and you have a mom who loves to shop. So I kind of just give her my list sometimes, and I'm like, hey, Mom, let me know how much I owe you. So there's that too. But if you're not in that boat, then I really suggest Amazon / I do the same thing for Christmas, because in the end, Amazon tends to be one of the cheapest places to get your things. So Amazon is your friend. And then again, just get the things that are necessary. And sometimes it means you're just getting things like later on in the year, because oftentimes teachers don't want it all at the beginning of the year too. So if you're in that boat, just get the essentials and the things you need to get moving for the 1st of September. Okay, so tip number 3, and this is a big one. It's kind of all encompassing. Get your kids involved in this whole thing. This whole getting yourself ready for back to school, getting your shit together for back to school. You can do a lot of things to involve your kids, because if they know that this is important, we value this, we need to get ourselves ready for a new transition, they're going to step up to the plate. So I would say have your kids play an active role in this. It will definitely provide less stress when you're then trying to shift gears, transition into this school year mode. It'll be a lot smoother, and you'll find that sometimes you work those bumps in the road out a little bit easier when you are able to practice this a little bit more. And so if you have any kids, I have a kid who has some anxiety, and so she'll be asking the questions, she'll be thinking, she'll be wanting to know all the things. What is the first day like? What am I going to wear? Who do I go with? All these things. If we're kind of working on those things earlier and earlier, having those conversations, practicing where we go in the morning, what the morning routine is, have them involved in picking the lunches, have them involved in picking out the clothes, have them involved in packing their lunches, those sorts of things. They're going to feel more in control. They're going to feel like they have some onus in it. It's going to take some of the burden off you, because they're going to learn those routines a lot quicker. And you might come across some of those bumps, but then you will be able to work them out a little bit better than if you were to thrust them into the first day of school, plop them there, then you're dealing with the aftermath. So get your kids involved. Some of the things that they can be involved with packing their lunch bag. You can have them choosing what they want for lunch. And side note, make a big list on the fridge with them of all the things that they would like to have for lunch. And then you can kind of work from a list instead of trying to remember and think about what you have and what you can actually have for lunch. They can come up with that list with them, put it on the fridge or somewhere so you can kind of refer to it when you're wondering what in the heck to pack for lunch some days. They can help pick out some of the clothes that they might wear, or if they want to have gym clothes or what kind of sneakers they want, things like that. Let them have some control over it. And then you can talk through what their day will be like. You can role play. You can get in the car, we're driving to the bus stop, or let's play school bus when you're in the car and what you do in the school bus. For those little ones who are getting ready to go to school, you can go check out your school grounds, go play at their playground, see some of those things that might help them to feel a little more familiar. Get them paired up with a friend that likely will be back to school with them. That really helps. I do that for my older kids because it really does help them to feel a sense of security when they're going to school. They know they're going to have this friend to kind of hang out with. They can meet at recess or lunch or whatever. That really helps to build that bond. Going back over some of those, the morning routine, so it's not so bumpy in the morning. Any of those things that you can troubleshoot ahead of time and get them involved with is going to save you in the long run. I promise. It's going to make your mornings and your transition back to school so much smoother. Tip number 4. So this is kind of more on the parents. Prep the food. And I say that because that is actually a lot of time and energy that we spend doing that. So this year, my school did not have any kind of like hot lunch. You couldn't buy lunch for the kids, which is good because it kind of saved us money. But there's a lot of things that my family of 6, because we're all packing lunches, have to go through in order to make it through a week. My kids love snacks. I don't love giving them tons and tons of packaged snacks. So we do often have a lot of baking, and God love my dad who loves to bake. So I can put my order in with him, or we like to make things ahead of time. So some of the things that we'll make ahead of time in the freezer, we make a whole bunch of pancakes, throw them in there that we can just pop in the toaster for breakfast or for lunches. We like to have loaves ready. We like to have mini muffins in the freezer to throw in their lunches, things like that. You can even make wraps, mustard and ham and cheese, wrap them up, put them in saran and throw them in the freezer. And you could take those out one at a time for their lunches, mini pizzas, things like that. You can all make ahead, but it's quick grab and go for lunches for you, or even freezer meals for supper, because that's going to help at the end of the day to make time go easier at the end of the day. And I'll get into that in my next tip. But having any time to prepare some food, things that are going to take up your time and attention in the first few weeks of school, is going to save you so much time. Because this leads me into my tip number 5. And my last tip is everybody is exhausted. That back to school transition into a new routine is absolutely depleting and exhausted. And if you have a kid heading back into a lower grade, specifically a primary grade, you're going to have meltdown city for an entire month, at least, even maybe till Christmas. Because I have witnessed this now with 2 kids, and I know the third's going to happen this year when she goes to school. The after school meltdown city is absolutely going to happen. So prepare for that. So if you don't have to take time away from helping them through that transition period by making supper, or putting a whole meal together, that's going to save you time. It's going to help them connect and get through that crazy, exhausting adjustment of back to school. And understand that you have that adjustment as well. It really takes a toll on our energy levels. So I want you to know that that's about to happen. So what you can do ahead of time, anything you can do ahead of time that will help, especially that after school time, is really going to help you to make it through. So, and number 6 would be adjust your expectations. Understand that the next month is going to be, you're making it through your survival. Don't try to put systems in place. Don't do any of that stuff. Just make it through, but be there emotionally. And having some of these things done ahead of time is going to help. I hope that was helpful to you, some of these tips. I'm sure there's many, many more. Those are the ones that jumped out at me. But if you want to know more about this, I'm going to be doing these live videos, these trainings and teachings with my membership coming up in September. That is what we're going to focus on, because I know I'm going through that, and so is everybody else. So if you want to join my Moms Get Shit Done membership, check out the link in the show notes and in my bio, and you can get some information on that. It's a place where I help moms to get shit done during any season of life on an ongoing, long-term, sustainable basis. That's what we're going to do there. So I hope you can check it out. And thanks so much for joining me this week.
Well, that's it for me today. I'm likely needed for some mom duties right about now. Thanks so much for joining me for a chat, and let's do it again soon. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Brianne_McKenzie123 for more tips and tricks on how to get shit done.